Broadcasting from the great state of Texas, news and views with a Lone Star perspective. You can sound off during the show by sending Chad a text at 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Or call in at 1-800-687-0790. Now, here's Chad Hasty.
Lubbock, Amarillo, Abilene, Wichita Falls, Midland, Odessa, Dallas, Fort Worth, down in Houston, over in El Paso, and anywhere else, inside or outside the great state of Texas, wherever you may be listening. Welcome into the Chad Hasty Show. Glad to have you with us on this Monday, April 20th. Oh my, April 20th of 2026. We welcome you in. Glad to have you with us today, whether you're at home or at work, on your way home from work, maybe stuck in traffic somewhere. You're stuck in that annoying traffic light that only lets a few people through each time. Yeah, we know. We've been there. We've been there. We've seen it. We've got mad at that exact same light before. We've all been there. And, but you've decided to join us today, and, it'll make life a little bit easier, I think, as we get into all the day's events, all the weekend's events, where are we heading to as a nation, as a state, as a people? Where are we heading to? And well, we'll get to that throughout the show today. We want to hear from you because you've heard from everybody else all day long. Now it's your chance, your opportunity to sound off on the news and issues that you really want to talk about. How do you do that? It's really quite simple. We'll throw some numbers out here in just a little bit for you, where you can get in touch with the show and talk about all the news and events of the day. It's been really a crazy day already. We've got news on Iran. We've got the very fragile ceasefire that is in place that may be going away very soon. And what's the answer? What happens next between the U.S. and Iran? Do you continue bombing? Do you just say, you know what? Here we go. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take you out. And now it's absolutely time for regime change. What do you do if you're if you're Trump, if you're the U.S., and you're also a little bit worried about midterm elections? We've got the latest on midterm elections that are coming out. We've got some stories connected to that we'll be discussing this evening, and of course we'll be getting into anything else that's on your mind that you may want to talk about on the program today. Oh yes, there's story as well. The American dream, is it dying? We'll talk about that. An interesting piece out earlier today that we could get to here on the show. Here's how you get in touch with us. We want to know from you today. We've got quite a few different issues that we're going to talk about. We've got I think a great running topic as well. I'm going to call it a Nick special today on the running topic. We'll get to that here very shortly, but we want to hear from you. That's the main thing. We're here for you guys. You guys get to sound off on anything that you want to talk about today during the program. You can text in at 806-680-2790. 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. You can also get in touch with us on the app chat. Just send us a message on the app, and it'll pop up whenever we get email alert. And so you can just tap your station's app, send us a message, voice memo, even video. You can do that through the station app. We can also be found on social media under Chad Hasty Radio on X, Instagram, and Facebook. And don't forget, you can also do the old-fashioned thing of giving us a call at 1-800-687-0790. That's 1-800-687-0790. You can text in and sound off on any of the topics, any of the issues of the day. The first voice that you hear from when you dial in, it's our good friend Nick. Nick, how you doing today?
I'm doing okay. In fact, I'm eager to hear about what this Nick special is. It sounds like if I were to order it, it would be a cheese pizza with some vanilla ice cream. But I'm eager to see what you have cooking for me. But you also brought up, what did you say? The American dream?
Yeah.
Slowly fading away. It got me thinking too. When was the last, bring your daughter to work day? Or bring your child to work day. Do they still do that? Is that still a thing today?
I would think so.
Really? I have not heard of it. I don't even know when. I did not even do it as a kid. I went to my parents, I went to their jobs, but it wasn't a formal day dedicated to it. It was just hey, you got half a day of school. You're coming with me. Yeah. For the last half of the day. But it was never like hey, it's bring your son to work day. You're coming with me tomorrow. So I don't know, and I never hear about it either.
Yeah.
I don't know if it still happens. And it'd be kind of sad, if it didn't, because it's fun. It's fun to show your kids around and show your coworkers as well.
Yeah. It's a good question. I don't know. It may come down to, the different types of jobs out there. I don't know. I wonder. I don't know if they have the take your kid to work day. COVID may have ruined that. With with a lot of kids having to go to work with mom and dad during COVID. COVID may have killed off the take your kid to work day, because a lot of kids went to work with mom and dad during COVID. So I don't know if they do that or not. I wonder if they also bring in, do they still have the where parents go to schools and talk about what they do? I wonder if they still have that. Yeah. So there you go. There you have that. 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. You can text in and let us know. So Nick was very interested in what he had inspired when it comes to the running topic today. And we've done some stuff a little bit similar to this in the past. We've had some running topics that are similar to this in the past. But when I saw him post this earlier today, I went, well, that seems fun. That seems like it could be a lot of fun out there to get into, because we just had the Artemis mission, which went around the moon, or did it? I know there were already people saying that that's the latest conspiracy is the whole moon mission that happened what was that, last week? That's now totally, you've got folks online who I saw even before they finished, they're like, nah. Complete green screen. It's all fake. It's all fake. There's no way. Yeah. Even before touchdown happened, you had people on social media going, no, that's all fake, not real. Nick posted this question earlier today on Facebook. What conspiracy theory do you find the most fascinating? Doesn't mean you have to believe in it. But what is your conspiracy theory that you find the most fascinating? Now, you can also give us the conspiracy theory that you truly go all in on. That, yeah, you're all in on the conspiracy theories that are out there. I don't know if Nick is looking for a new conspiracy theory to, go down the rabbit hole on or what. But this was a good one, especially the last few days. It's kind of you got some conspiracy theorists who are out there. They're poking their heads up on social media. So what would you say? Do you find which conspiracy theory do you find the most fascinating out there? 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Nick, I was telling folks, Nick had to step out. I was telling folks that there are already people questioning the latest moon mission, and I posted on social media that it was all fake.
I think that was happening the day of.
Yes.
I think that was an early one.
Yeah.
That was an early out the gate. A lot of people are not happy.
A lot of the flat earthers are like, hey, let's not show anything that looks a little too round.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's not show anything that may disprove the flat earth thing.
I'm curious, and this is another reason why I threw this question out there earlier today, because it is, to me, it's fascinating to learn about what other people believe.
Yes.
When it comes, conspiracy theories or something, and I know that has a very, it has a lot of strings attached, a lot of expectations to that. Mostly it means you think this person is crazy. That's not the case for me.
No.
I truly just want to know, because it is fascinating to hear how other people are like, well, you know why I believe this, why so-and-so. It's like, oh, okay, maybe I don't agree.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. You've just taught me why you think so now I understand it. So it's fun.
It's like, I think for some of the flat earthers, not all of them, but I think they watched the Truman Show and they went, oh,
I've never
seen a door.
I've never seen the Truman Show.
What?
I love Jim Carrey, and I've never seen the Truman Show.
I had to write a college paper.
Really?
Well, I chose it, but we had some, different, we were given some, kind of like a choice.
Sure.
And I chose the Truman Show,
Good choice.
to write about it. Excellent film. Yeah.
I'll add it to my, what is my list at? What now? 25
Yeah, you're
movies
up to
that I need
something.
to watch?
You'll never hit it.
I'll say I'll get to it, and then I won't.
That one really shocks me that you haven't seen it.
I've seen so many clips, though.
Yeah.
I think I've seen the end. I've seen all the bits in between. I just need to watch it all.
Yeah. Because it seems like a very Nick-esque movie.
Is that a compliment?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It seems like a very Nick-esque movie out there.
I'd like to.
Yes.
I'd like to watch it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. The conspiracy theory do you find the most fascinating? What is it? You can text in at 806-680-2790. We'll be right back.
The Chad Hasty Show can be heard all over West Texas. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Tune into News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO in Lubbock. News Talk 940 in Amarillo. News Talk 94.7 and 1470 KYYW in Abilene and in Wichita Falls on News Talk 96.3 and 1290. The Chad Hasty Show. Make it a part of your drive home. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
You can catch the absolute latest on all that's happening with President Trump in the White House on the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, weekdays at 11 on the News and Talk of West Texas. News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO.
The Chad Hasty Show. Appreciate you tuning in today. You can send in your thoughts on the text line at 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Weigh in on any of the topics, any of the issues that you would like to get into. Trump says ceasefire will be ending on Wednesday evening. A further extension is highly unlikely, though who knows? The president said the ceasefire with Iran ends Wednesday evening, Washington time, adding it's highly unlikely he would extend it if a deal is not reached before then. President J.D. Vance, Vice President J.D. Vance, and top U.S. officials expected to depart for Islamabad, Pakistan, ahead of a potential second round of talks with Iran. According to sources, Iran's foreign ministry earlier insisted there were no plans for talks as of right now. The Strait of Hormuz, which was reopened, was then closed by the Iranians. And apparently only 16 ships have traversed the Strait of Hormuz on Monday, as captains and ship owners remain cautious in the wake of a shaky ceasefire. So you've got a lot of distrust that's out there. People are needing to know who they can trust on this issue. You've got the U.S. media who they've thrown their support behind the terrorist. I mean, all you got to do is go and take a look at any of these newspapers out there. They're openly rooting for the U.S. to lose this war. Meanwhile, you look at what's happening on the ground, and it's been, as far as the war goes, it's been pretty good for the Americans. You look at the job that they have done. You look at how they've accomplished their duties, and to me, it's gone a lot better than what some could have imagined. But still, that doesn't stop the U.S. media from letting everybody think that all hell's breaking loose, that the Iranians are actually the winners in all this. So I think the U.S. is trying to figure really all of that out. And then, if Wednesday comes and goes and the ceasefire is over, then what happens? Do you go back to bombing? I think you do. I think you bomb the hell out of them. I think we have given Iran time to come to the table, to have a good faith effort to negotiate, and they haven't done it. In fact, they're getting they're getting weapons from Russia. They're getting weapons from China. And I think if you're the U.S., you acknowledge that that's going on, and you go to Iran and you're like, okay, we're done. We're done messing around. We're going to bomb you as much as we said we were. Maybe even more so. Enjoy it. All right, when we come back, we'll get into some of your conspiracy theories. We'll get to your phone calls, your text, and more here on the Chad Hasty Show.
Call in to the Chad Hasty Show at 1-800-687-0790. The Chad Hasty Show, broadcasting on the Texas Town Square Media Network.
When I'm driving, I look twice for motorcycles.
I look twice because motorcycles are easy to miss.
I look twice just in case a motorcycle's in my blind spot.
I look twice at intersections and before I turn left.
I look twice because I want to know for sure.
I look twice for motorcycles because I don't want to hurt anyone.
Look twice for motorcycles. There's a life riding on it. A message from Texas Department of Transportation.
Cats are masters at using up their 9 lives, like chasing laser pointers into walls or jumping onto high shelves. But the one thing cats never do, text while driving. So be like a cat and protect your one and only life. Don't text and drive.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The Democrats' top fundraising platform being targeted by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. He's filed a suit against Act Blue, accusing the Democratic Political Action Committee of funneling foreign donations and dark money into Democratic campaigns to subvert laws Act Blue denies wrongdoing. Early voting got underway today for local municipal elections. The elections typically include races for city council, mayor, school board trustees, and local bond initiatives. The chief of the Texas Department of State Health Services is going to the nation's capital. President Trump has named Dr. Jennifer Shuford as the chief medical officer at the Center for Disease Control. Texas families could learn as soon as next week if they've received a school choice voucher. The state controller's office says it's on track to start notifying families soon. More than 274,000 applications were received. NHL playoffs tonight. The Dallas Stars look to even their series with Minnesota at 1 each. With your Texas news headlines, I'm Barbara Schwartz.
Looking to add a compact excavator to your fleet? The Hitachi ZX35 from Masco Equipment is in stock and ready to go to work. Right now, get this powerful and versatile mini excavator for as low as $39.9, including a 12-inch bucket, 2-year 2,000-hour factory warranty, and 0% interest for 48 months. But don't wait. This offer ends April 30th, subject to credit approval. Visit ASCOEQ.com to learn more. Masco Equipment and Hitachi, built to perform, backed by the team you trust.
Digging without contacting Texas 811 first could cost more than you think. Texas 811 is a free service that helps you avoid damaging underground utilities like electric or gas lines. Every year, accidents happen because someone didn't take a moment to contact 811. Whether installing a fence or working on a construction site, contacting Texas 811 is the law. It's quick, free, and keeps you safe. Visit Texas811.org today for more information. Safe digging starts with one simple step. Make it today.
This Monday evening, the temperatures are dropping closer to 50 degrees, 20% chance for showers, and temperatures will rebound by Tuesday into the upper 70s under a partly cloudy sky. Then temperatures mid-50s on Wednesday morning, and by Wednesday afternoon, a high temperature in the lower 90s. Sonic introducing the new Sonic Refreshers made with real fruit. I'm meteorologist Ron Roberts on Lubbock's official weather station News Talk KFYO.
Financial news on KFYO.
I'm Dan Loney with Your Money Now. Shares of steel manufacturer Cleveland-Cliffs were on watch today. The company disclosed an unexpected $80 million energy cost in the first quarter tied to an extreme cold snap that sent Arctic temperatures sweeping across the U.S. The company normally locks in gas pricing 3 days before each new month begins, and in January, that was the period of highest pricing. President Trump over the weekend signed an executive order directing health regulators to speed up reviews of psychedelic drugs. It will also boost federal spending on research in this area. Various psychedelic drugs have been viewed as ways to better deal with issues like PTSD, depression, and addiction. The markets posted losses today with the Nasdaq ending a 13-session win streak. Dow Industrials lost 5 points at 49,442. Nasdaq was down 64 and the S&P 500 was down by 17. And that's Your Money Now.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Hi, this is Gordon Deal. Tuesday on This Morning, America's First News. Thousands of care packages designed for service members are stuck in limbo because the Postal Service has suspended service in the Middle East. Are they running out of food on ships? Also, turns out Gen X had it nearly as rough as boomers and millennials in building wealth. And grocery prices are up, but it's not the case for all foods. Hear what's cheaper. Tuesday on This Morning, America's First News. Weekday mornings at 5 on News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO.
Empowering West Texas with news that matters. News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO.
Don't forget about Chad. Find Chad on social media at Chad Hasty Radio on X and Instagram. It's the Chad Hasty Show.
All right, back on the Chad Hasty Show. Thank you for tuning in today. Let's see, real quick, let's go to the phones out in Lubbock. That's where Robert is at. And Robert, what's going on today?
Not much. I heard y'all talking about the American dream.
Yeah.
And like I was telling Nick, you know, after World War II, the 50s, things were booming because of the interstate system. People were able to buy a house and all this. And usually it was the husband doing it. And then also, too, by the space program, I remember when President Kennedy said we were going to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when we landed on the moon, it was on my dad's birthday back in 1969. So I think part of that is just the temperament of the country at the time, because they wanted to do the space program. They wanted to do things like that, and...
So society needs to be highly motivated.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Because I remember the Mercury program, the Gemini program, the Apollo program, all those things growing up.
Yeah.
And I think, too, I don't know if, we did Artemis. I like the idea, and I don't agree with them. It was fake. They went around the moon. And I think eventually we'll land on the moon again.
Yeah.
But that's... So, but I think really it's kind of the enthusiasm that people have for this kind of stuff.
Right. I got you. I hear you. Robert, thank you. Appreciate it. Have a great evening.
You too. See you later, Chad.
Let's see. Some of these, let's get to a few conspiracies that are out there. Let's see. Just in case there are any black helicopters circling or in a holding pattern around my house at this moment, because I fully believe all conspiracy theories. Every single one of them, really? Let's see. I don't know if I can buy into every single conspiracy theory. That's a lot. That would be a lot of conspiracy theories that you'd have to be that you have to buy into. Let's see. Paul from Post, favorite conspiracy theory: Masons, the Freemasonry kind, the rule the world and control all the countries of the world, especially the 32-degree ones. If we can tell anyone, there's a lot of brothers that can't even control their own blocks, much less their own cities, counties, and states. I risk personal pearl by speaking of this. It's a secret, What's a secret? What's a secret? Well, that's what I want to know. What is what is the secret? 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Stephen weighing in out in Amarillo. I'm 45. My understanding of the American dream is that you own a home, you have a job, you can meet your reasonable needs. That does not mean you can live the life of the rich and the famous. That is not what the American dream is. If that's what you aspire to, if that's your prerogative, then you cannot say that the American dream is no longer exist. Just because you can't live like a YouTube star. I own my own home. It's 1,500 square feet on 10 acres. I bought my first house in 2004. It was suburban, meager. I chose the path that I meant not to blow money on $80,000 trucks, to not travel all over the globe, to not waste money on sporting events, on reasonable automobiles, or Louis Vuittons. Let's see. We did have vacations, but paid cash and kept them reasonable. I make $65K a year, highest of my life, and only owe $75K on our custom designed 2023 built homestead. That from Stephen in Amarillo. I think it's, and again, we're going to get to this big story that I saw earlier today about believing the American dream. It does, I think, a little bit of perspective does help on what is the American dream. But I do think for a lot of people, it's being rich. Now, is that something that it should be the American dream? I mean, you look at some rich people who are out there, quote unquote rich, people who are out there. Are they always living the American dream? I don't think so. see a lot of unhappy people who are, living, quote unquote, the American dream out there. 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Let's see, some of another texter weighing in on what they conspiracy theory that they one of their conspiracy theories that they find entertaining, at least, or more interesting out there. Chad, MK Ultra totally is something that you've got to spend hours and hours and hours learning about. It was a conspiracy theory. Now we know it was all true, and that's scary. Yeah, I think for MK Ultra, I think that's one of those that I think that's what pushed a lot of people into don't trust anything. Don't trust anything the government puts out there. Don't trust them on anything. Because if they could pull off MK Ultra, if they could do that, there's where would they not go? What would they not do when it comes to experimentation or your kind of attacks on your own people? We know that they have that's been something that has happened in the past. So again, I think that's one of those that really pushed a lot of people over. 806-680-2790. Chad, not a flat earther by any means, but I also don't believe that we landed on the moon in the first go around. Can we land on the moon this time? Yeah, sure. And I hope we do, at least here in a couple of years. But I don't believe about the first lunar landing. I don't believe that we actually landed. I believe we told America we did, so that way we could hurt the Soviets. 806-680-2790. When we come back, your phone calls, your text, and more.
The Titan of Texas Talk Radio. The Chad Hasty Show.
Talking with newsmakers and about the issues that matter to you. The Chad Hasty Show, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Chad's show is also digital with the Chad Hasty Show podcast. The Chad Hasty Show podcast can be downloaded on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and the Radio On Demand page on KFYO.com. The Chad Hasty Show, all across Texas during your drive home, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
Hi, Angie. This is your phone here in the cup holder. Pick me up.
No, I'm driving.
Oh, look, a text from Mr. Dreamy.
Hush, driving here.
I'm getting an email. Gwen is giving away free bunnies.
No, you are so pushy.
I know. I need therapy. Let's search it now.
Phone, quiet.
Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Talk, text, crash. A message from TxDOT.
From the heart of the hub city to the wide open skies of West Texas, KFYO keeps you connected to the stories, the voices, and the conversations that matter most. This is the news and talk of West Texas. News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO.
This is House Call for Health. April is Parkinson's Awareness Month. The Mayo Clinic describes it as a movement disorder of the nervous system that worsens over time. The Parkinson's Foundation says nearly 90,000 people are diagnosed every year. Scientists think the cause is a combination of environmental and genetic factors. There's no standard treatment, but many use a combination of medication, exercise, therapy, surgery, even some complementary options to manage symptoms. Usually a team-based approach with doctors, therapists, and care partners who help address both both movement and non-movement challenges. There are several notable celebrities who've shared their Parkinson's journeys over the years, including Muhammad Ali, Alan Alda, and Michael J. Fox. The foundation says public figures speaking openly about Parkinson's helps to increase media attention and humanize the disease, inspiring others to tell their stories of strength. You can get more information and resources at parkinson.org. Or for more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
News Talk KFYO.
Back on the Chad AC Show. Nick, are you doing your own radio show over there during the breaks? Or you were on the phone the entire... It felt like the entire break. You're on the phone with one person. Yeah, okay. 806-680-2790. I hope the story was great. I hope it was a good story. They didn't pass it along to the rest of the kids in the room, but, hey, at least you got to hear it. Mitchell and Abilene, the American dream in its most basic form. I'd simply say that we are not stuck in a class system, but if you work, you can move up in society. You're not stuck in lower or middle class. Before the United States, you were, for the most part, stuck in the class you were born into. What that upward mobility looks like depends on the times and the people at the time. And for Mitchell and Abilene, 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Let's see. Charles Perry, Texas State Senator Charles Perry, he's got an op-ed out in the Washington Examiner of all places today. Kind of a weird place to have this, but okay. He's got a piece out in the Washington Examiner. Paxton's persecution. Texas faithful can't ignore what's happening in Senate race. Let's see. Charles Perry writing, Texans love to say, as Texas goes, so goes America. I would argue that what happens in Texas affects the world. In many ways, that has been true in the fight for religious liberty over the last 70 years. A new battle over religious liberty is brewing in the race to represent Texas in the U.S. Senate, and so far, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton and his team are on the wrong side of it. Just a few days ago, Senator John Cornyn released a list of highly respected faith leaders from across the state who now make up the senator's Faith Advisory Council. Cornyn's opponent in the Republican primary, Ken Paxton, and his team have chosen to respond to Cornyn's announcement of his Faith Advocacy Council by attacking the preachers on the council, including Dr. Jack Graham of Prestonwood Baptist Church in Plainview, who would be Paxton's own pastor. In what universe did Paxton and his team believe this was morally or politically correct as a response? For a Republican candidate to engage in an all-out assault on conservative pastors and faith leaders is repugnant. It's also a sign of a desperate candidate in the campaign resorting to desperate measures. Instead of seeking to destroy faith leaders associated with John Cornyn, wouldn't it make more sense for Paxton to simply produce his own list of pastors from whom he goes to for advice? We all need counsel in our lives. It's also incumbent on those in positions of leadership to heed the wide counsel they receive. By now, the list of Paxton's indiscretions is increasingly public and tragically long. If Paxton has not been in recent communication with as many Christian leaders as he once was, now would be the perfect time to renew those relationships. The op-ed continues. Ronald Reagan once told a gathering of pastors in Dallas in 1984, without God and democracy will not and cannot long endure. I couldn't agree more. Texas needs more of God in the public square, not less. I applaud President Donald Trump for finally setting religious voices on equal footing with the rest of the country via the new IRS ruling that lifted restrictions on religious leaders weighing in on political matters. I applaud Cornyn for responding to the new IRS rules by ushering in godly voices into the public square. I applaud Dr. Graham of Prestonwood, Max Lucido of Oak Hills Church in San Antonio, Dr. Robert Jeffries of First Baptist Church in Dallas, Dr. Gus Rias, board member of the National Hispanic Christian Leadership Conference, and Dr. Phil Schubert, president of the Abilene Christian University, for showing courage and taking action. Texas needs their voices now more than ever. More leaders of faith from across Texas and beyond, inspired in the weeks to come, join their ranks. Now the article continues, about halfway through it, but you can tell Perry's obviously very upset with Ken Paxton on this one, and is taking him to task on it. I don't think it'll really matter when it comes to the vote, but this is maybe a little bit of the cracking out there, where especially for a Texas state senator to get out there and kind of defy what has been the popular choice, which has been to support Paxton. For him for Perry to kind of go against Paxton here is pretty interesting. I don't know if he's endorsing really John Cornyn, but he is kind of slapping around Ken Paxton a little bit, which is something that we really haven't seen a lot of from Texas state senators or even some in the Texas House. 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Hey, I do want to remind everybody about a couple of things. One, you got the Chad AC Show podcast. It'll be available about a couple hours or so. It'll be available for you to check out, download, and subscribe, listen on your time. Also pass around to friends and family. You can do that. And so that'll be good for everybody. And then you can find us on social media at Chad Hasty Radio. When we come back, still a lot to get to. We'll talk about the American dream. Already have some folks weighing in on it. We'll get to it when we come back.
The Chad Hasty Show, a presentation of Texas Town Square Media Network. The views and opinions expressed during the Chad Hasty Show are not necessarily the views of this station, staff, management, advertisers, or Town Square Media.
Cutting through the clutter in a world of endless headlines? We get it, and we're here for you. News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM, KFYO.
The state, the nation, the world. From a Texas perspective. News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO Lubbock.
It's 6 o'clock in Texas.
Another round of talks on the horizon. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. This as the 10-day pause in strikes between the U.S. and Iran is set to expire.
As Islamabad, Pakistan preps for the crucial negotiations, the word we're seeing is that Vice President J.D. Vance will travel with the U.S. team for meetings now set for Wednesday. After a lot of hemming and hawing, it seems that the Iranians will most likely join join the talks as well. Things have gotten more edgy since that U.S. Navy destroyer yesterday intercepted and took control of an Iranian flag cargo ship caught by the current naval blockade of Iran-linked shipping in the Gulf using the Strait of Hormuz.
Fox's Greg Palcott in Tel Aviv. Meanwhile, President Trump has invoked the Defense Production Act to boost domestic petroleum production and deploy large-scale energy infrastructure to expand gas and coal power generation as Iran continues to limit passage of ships through the Strait of Hormuz, where about 20% of the world's oil supply transits. At least 2 teens are dead, several others hurt after a mass shooting at a park in North Carolina.
Winston-Salem police responding to a pre-planned fight at a park near Jefferson Middle School.
A 17-year-old male who's later identified as Urube Romero Medina, suffering from a gunshot wound. He was pronounced deceased at the scene.
Captain Kevin Burns.
The second victim, identified as 16-year-old Daniel Jimenez Million, was located further inside the park, also suffering from a gunshot wound. He was pronounced deceased at the scene as well.
Noting 4 females who are 14, 15, 17, and 19 years old, and an 18-year-old male also suffered gunshot wounds with injuries ranging from critical to minor.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. Police in Shreveport, Louisiana say a father shot and killed his 7 children and another child yesterday and wounded his wife and another woman in the deadliest mass shooting in the U.S. in more than 2 years. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, this is Gordon Deal. Tuesday on This Morning, America's First News. Thousands of care packages designed for service members are stuck in limbo because the Postal Service has suspended service in the Middle East. Are they running out of food on ships? Also, turns out Gen X had it nearly as rough as boomers and millennials in building wealth. And grocery prices are up, but it's not the case for all foods. Hear what's cheaper. Tuesday on This Morning, America's First News.
Weekday mornings at 5 on News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO.
This Monday evening, the temperatures are dropping closer to 50 degrees, 20% chance for showers, and temperatures will rebound by Tuesday into the upper 70s under a partly cloudy sky. Then temperatures mid-50s on Wednesday morning, and by Wednesday afternoon, a high temperature in the lower 90s. Sonic introducing the new Sonic refreshers made with real fruit. I'm meteorologist Ron Arbich from Lubbock's official weather station News Talk KFYO.
Broadcasting from the great state of Texas, news and views with a Lone Star perspective. You can sound off during the show by sending Chad a text at 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Or call in at 1-800-687-0790. Now, here's Chad Hasty.
Back on the Chad AC Show. Thank you very much for tuning in today. You can send in your thoughts on the text line at 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. You can weigh in on any of the topics of the day, any of the questions that we've had for you today, any of the issues of the day. We started off with the Nick special based off of a a little Facebook question that he asked the hometown KFYO audience. What was it basically that? What is your favorite, most fascinating conspiracy theory? What is your most? What conspiracy theory do you find most fascinating? That's it. It doesn't mean you believe in it. It's just one that you go, huh. Like for me, one of the conspiracy theories that I find most interesting is that, and this is based off of a TV show, and I went, huh. Well, now that's interesting to think about. And it was that Hitler escaped Germany and made his way over to Argentina. And I went, huh, now that's a doozy. That's something. And so, to me, like, that's one of those interesting conspiracy theories. And then, you put a 10-episode TV show with it where they're tracking down all the clues and everything, and you're going, my God, I think they're going to find Hitler. Still hanging out in Argentina right now. What's going on? Why are there so many Nazis in Argentina? What's happening? Wait a minute. This is something more people need to know about. Wow. 806-680-2790. We've got a lot more to get to in this hour of the program. And, of course, we always want to hear from you. Let's go out to Health Center. That's where Eric is at. Eric, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Well, I think I can debunk the space shuttle going to the moon or not, and I think by asking questions of the very agency that was telling us that it went to the moon, and how I approached it is all right, what's the fastest? Because I remember Tom Cruise's movie, they were lucky to go to Mach 10. And which translates to a certain miles per hour. But anyway, that's the movie. But so I just went to Google, and Google is telling on NASA as well as NASA. And what's the fastest speed an aircraft has gone? And it basically says the aircraft achieved 6,755 kilometers per mile, which translates to 4,519 miles per hour, set by an uncrewed, that means no people aboard, the NASA X-43A scramjet. Now, I put in aircraft. I didn't say rocket. I just said, aircraft. I figured that all is all-encompassing. But in this case, let's think of a jet. Okay. Well, what did they tell us? The rocket went, supposedly, 25,000 miles an hour. So when you look at this thing, it looks like it's an RV moving into space, and it just doesn't look like it's going 25,000 miles an hour. Sorry.
Are you talking
I'm not saying is, hey, I believe this or I don't believe it.
Are you talking about the latest one, or are you talking about the first one? Like, are you talking about the one where he actually landed on the moon?
Either one, this latest one or the first one. But if the fastest an unmanned jet can go, well, it makes me think a rocket will do the same thing. It's still manned or unmanned, but an unmanned jet.
So let's just
their data isn't even showing.
Let's just go back to Artemis. Why would they just lie about Artemis?
You know what? I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just saying is I'm looking at their data and I'm using my own deductive powers of reasoning. I don't know why they would. I don't know why. And I'm not here to call them out. I'm just saying well, if your unmanned aircraft goes a certain speed, why are you trying to tell us a jet or a rocket with people in it is going 4 times its speed?
Yeah. Well,
or 5.
And again, I haven't seen what you've looked at online, but I would assume that NASA would possibly classify being sucked into Earth's orbit at a faster speed than them being propelled or a rocket boosting them at a certain speed. I would anticipate that it would be listed under a different dynamic, but I don't know. Again, I don't work at NASA, so I don't know exactly how they classify everything. It's hard for me to believe that they weren't going. We pulled up on Earth pretty quick. Just within when Nick and I were watching, they were going pretty fast, coming back to Earth. It did not take long for them to say, "Hey, they were almost back within the first hour of the show." That's how.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that. Now, this is something else Google will tell on you. Is ask Google, show me a vehicle going 7,000 miles an hour, or the fastest you can see it is a blink of an eye, and it's a 600-mile-an-hour train that moves within a blink of a second. You can barely even see it. Now, how is it that we can video from Earth, watch that thing go up or down, for that matter? Well, you can actually see it, but like I said, is go to Google and see a blink of an eye, what 600 miles looks like on a blink of an eye. Now we're supposed to believe a vehicle going 25,000 miles an hour can be videoed.
Yeah.
See, it'll tell on itself.
Okay, Eric, thank you very much.
Not a problem.
Have a good one out there. Let's see. Some text coming in. Let's see. I've always noticed the cleanest guys have done the least amount of work. I believe this is true of Cornyn. He's not talking accomplishments for himself, only negatives against Paxton. I wouldn't say that's true. Cornyn has not strayed away from talking about all the votes he's made in favor of Trump and everything else. I think he's, I think Cornyn has put his accomplishments out there quite a bit, actually. Let's see. Rick in Lubbock, it's got to be Roswell at Area 51. Obama said there were aliens, just saying. Yeah, and then he had to go back and clarify and go, look, I didn't really mean that. Someone got mad at him. Texture, that fellow started this whole argument talking about space shuttle going to the moon. I don't think anyone has ever claimed that the space shuttle left low Earth orbit. He needs to get his facts straight before he calls into a radio show to make an argument. Yeah, well, the latest Artemis mission, they did not land on the moon. They went around the moon, but they did not land on the moon. According to and that was never the plan, by the way. That was never the plan. Was to land on the moon. I think the fourth mission, if I'm running the numbers, I think because they've got one more mission that they've got to try out. And then after that, I think that's when they're supposed to touch down on the lunar surface. And which we should all hope they do. Right? Like, just as part of research and exploration, I'm going to put myself in I'm going to believe it until I don't committee on that one. All right, here we go. Let's see. It's the thrust that Artemis rocket. It's thrust of the Artemis rocket, 8.8 million pounds of thrust. Just jet airplane, 50,000 pounds of thrust. Jet fuel is not rocket fuel. That from Rick, weighing in on the text line. Let's see. Hey, Chad, tell Sparky that aircraft in no atmosphere space can go much faster than aircraft in Earth's atmosphere, also fighting gravity. Well, see, that's what, a lot of it too. You're being sucked into Earth's orbit. Like Earth is pulling you when they're going that 25,000 miles per hour. You're being sucked. There's a reason you're on fire. Like it wasn't just a nice, relaxing, movement into planet Earth. It was violent. It was fiery. It was, this is why you see a lot of the, comets or asteroids that, do, penetrate and they go through, Earth's atmosphere. What happens? They blow up. They blow up going through Earth's atmosphere. And, sometimes you get little meteorites that fall. Sometimes you get nothing. They all burn up. It has to hit at the right exact moment, or right exact angle and everything else, and you're being sucked in at 24, this was the fastest they were ever sucked into Earth's orbit, and they'd kind of planned it that way. 806-680-2790. When we come back, your phone calls, your text. Another texture. I like how the last guy said always just look up Google. Yeah, Google never lies about anything. We'll be right back.
Hang up the phone to let me know you made it home. Don't want nothing to be wrong with part-time lover.
The Chad Hasty Show can be heard all over West Texas. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Tune into News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO in Lubbock. News Talk 940 in Amarillo. News Talk 94.7 and 1470 KYYW in Abilene. And in Wichita Falls on News Talk 96.3 and 1290. The Chad Hasty Show. Make it a part of your drive home. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Has anybody told you about Coast to Coast AM tonight?
Coast to Coast is one of those programs that deals with strange mysteries. We'll look at Bigfoot. We'll look at UFOs. We'll look at real science. And we'll also look at conspiracies and what it all means to you, the listeners of Coast to Coast AM.
It's the best in overnight talk radio. Coast to Coast AM.
Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Tonight at midnight on KFYO.
Celebrating 98 years of broadcasting, this is KFYO.
On the Chad AC Show. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Story of the times, the American dream is dying. According to a new poll, it's been the land of opportunity for 2.5 centuries, but now a majority of citizens say success is less achievable than when they were growing up. The American dream, coined in the depths of the Depression. Nearly half of people in the United States today do not believe the dream applies to all Americans. A new survey has found. Before the U.S. turns 250 in July, the Times asked YouGov to explore citizens' attitudes to the idea that success is available to anyone who works hard and plays by the rules. Although 61% of respondents said they believed in the concept, only 38% thought it existed for everyone. Do you think the American dream exists for everyone? 38% said yes for everyone. 8% said yes for me, but not others. Yes for others, but not me, 15%. No at 21%. Not sure at 17%. 59% deemed it less attainable for Americans overall than it was when they were growing up. 13% said it was more attainable today than it was when they were growing up. 59% said less attainable. Neither said was voted on by 21%. You look at interviews with a representative sample of 1,821 American adults this year. Only 38% rated today's quality of life as excellent or good, significantly fewer than the 60% who said the same in 1976, the year of the bicentennial. The sense that the American dream is dying was reflected throughout the poll. Almost half of respondents believed that children today would be worse off when they grew up than their parents were now. Only 17% said the next generation would be better off. Now, why is that? Why would you believe that the next generation will be worse off? I want to bring Nick in here because he's a generation younger than I. What do you think, Nick? I mean, you looking ahead, do you believe if y'all have children, do you believe they will be in a better position than you and your wife now, or do you think they're going to be in a worse position than you and your wife?
So, obviously this depends on us.
Yeah.
You know, and it also depends on what you mean by better or worse position. If you mean financially,
just anything.
Okay. Well, then I'll split it. I'll say, you know, financially and, stability.
Yeah.
I think, again, it's really up to them. This may go with the American dream, but I mean, if you want more money, you find a job that pays more money.
Yeah.
I know it's not always that simple, but for the most part, so it'd be up to them, but I know what they say, I've heard the argument as well where, grandparents are complaining that their kids are staying at home. They're not buying cars. They're not buying new houses. And it's like, well, if you look at the cost of a house now, as opposed to what it was, I mean, back, 40, 50 years ago, yeah, it's going to be a little different. But still, I mean, I can't say. Will prices and everything change within the next 10, 15, 20 years? Yeah. I think, of course. That's just what happens.
We're going to continue this conversation when we come back because I think there's many different ways to look at quality of life, where we are today versus let's just go back to the 60s. Would you say quality of life today in 2026 is better overall than the 1960s? We'll be right back.
The Chad Hasty Show, weekdays 5 to 7 p.m. Sound off during the show by sending Chad a text at 806-680-2790.
As a parent, you said you'd never give up the convertible.
Look, the
van even has its own backing. You said you'd never schedule your life around a stuffed animal.
Nobody panic. Bun is still at daycare.
And never put them in harm's way.
I'll be right back, little man. Just gonna pop in the store for diapers.
But never happens. Temperatures as low as 60 degrees can be deadly for children left behind. So always bring them with you every time you park the car. Stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You've got a life to live, and you don't want to miss out on any of it. That's why the first thing you do when you get in a car is buckle your seatbelt. Whether you're a driver or a passenger, not wearing your seatbelt could get you a ticket, a fine, or worse. Nobody wants that. So remember, if you love it, click it. Brought to you by the Texas Department of Transportation.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is suing one of the Democrats' top fundraising platforms for what he says are fraudulent campaign donations. Ken Paxton filed suit against Act Blue, accusing it of funneling foreign donations and dark money into Democratic campaigns. It mirrors accusations made by President Trump a year ago, and Act Blue denies wrongdoing, saying these are partisan attacks designed to disrupt Democratic fundraising. Police in Dallas have raided a warehouse they say was being used to operate a sex club. Police say two men are advertising it as a sexual encounter center where they would charge people for admission, allow them to engage in sexual activities on the premises. Well, there's a major ranching empire up for sale in the Panhandle for the sum of $127.7 million. You can buy up the Freeman family ranches. There are 3 ranches. They make up 88,000 acres between Texas and Oklahoma. NHL playoffs tonight. The Dallas Stars look to even their series with Minnesota at 1 each. With your Texas News headlines, I'm Barbara Schwartz.
Hurt in a car or truck wreck? Call Frankel & Frankel first. Mark and Scott Frankel, the go-to car and truck wreck attorneys in Texas, have been fighting for your rights for over 25 years. Before becoming personal injury lawyers, they defended insurance companies, so they know all the tricks and tactics insurers use to deny your claim. Trust the experienced, family-owned, and highly awarded Frankel & Frankel to put you first and get the resolution you deserve. And remember, it's a felony for an attorney to reach out to you directly or indirectly via third parties within the first 30 days after an accident. During this period, an attorney may only send a letter. Frankel & Frankel make it easy. From the free consultation to the very first phone call, they handle everything with no out-of-pocket costs. They only get paid when you win. If you or a loved one has been injured, reach out to Frankel & Frankel today at frankelfirm.com. That's FRENKEL firm.com. Principal office, Dallas, Texas.
This Monday evening, the temperatures are dropping closer to 50 degrees, 20% chance for showers, and temperatures will rebound by Tuesday into the upper 70s under a partly cloudy sky. Then temperatures mid-50s on Wednesday morning, and by Wednesday afternoon, a high temperature in the lower 90s. Sonic introducing the new Sonic refreshers made with real fruit. I'm meteorologist Ron Arbich on Lubbock's official weather station News Talk KFYO.
Local events, newsmakers, and information. It's Sunrise LBK on KFYO.
Coming up Tuesday, Sunrise LBK.
Be talking selling and buying homes with Jackie Howard of J. Howard Realty.
Also, don't forget, we've got that spring refresh for Mother's Day at Furnished by Holly, 3501 50th Street. Make sure you go by and register, Mom. Hey, husbands, kids, register Mom, register your wife. Sunrise LBK, see you Tuesday.
I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute. Singer David has been arrested in connection with the death of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, the teenage girl whose severely decomposed body was found in the trunk of his Tesla back in September. The Los Angeles PD announced they arrested the 21-year-old, whose real name is David Anthony Burke, April 16th. He's being held without bail. Rivas was found dead in an impounded Tesla registered to the singer September 8th, 2025, one day after what would have been her 15th birthday. Officials say the car had been left on a public street for weeks before it was towed to an impound lot in Los Angeles where someone reported a foul odor coming from the vehicle. Officials with the LAPD say Rivas had likely been dead for several weeks before her remains were found in the trunk. Her cause and manner of death still under investigation. It remains unclear whether Rivas and the singer have a connection, though speculation has circulated online. Burke has millions of followers on social media and created the anthem for Fortnite. There's more on this story at foxnews.com or subscribe to the Fox True Crime podcast. I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute.
The news and talk of West Texas. News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO.
From the Panhandle to the South Plains to the Big Country, it's the Chad Hasty Show.
All right, back on the Chad Hasty Show. So this story that's out by the Times, saying that the American dream is dead, and that half of respondents believe that children today would be worse off when they grew up than their parents are now. Only 17% said the next generation would be better off. Now, I think, and Nick also put this on there, the argument of what is quality of life for whom. Certain people certainly had different affordabilities back in the 50s and 60s, but also today's societal political climate is as polarized as it's ever been. So what's to say that gets better or worse over the next decade or two? It's true. But you don't have to let the political climate wreck your life. And I think it also depends on what you say the American dream is. And this is where I think we have to have a little bit of honest discussion on what the American dream is. I think for many kids of my generation, I think many went into graduating high school. We were told you got to go to college. If you want to be successful, you got to go to college. And look what everything that your mom and dad have built, everything your mom and dad have now, and you're going to be so much better off when you get out of college. That was sold to a lot of kids my age. That once you get out of college, you're going to have what mom and dad has now, plus more. That, the position that mom and dad are in now, where they've got the nice house, they got the 2 cars, they got the nice yard and everything, they didn't start there. Mom and dad didn't start in that. They started in an apartment somewhere and worked their butts off until they could afford a home or got help to get a home, and then they built up. They had to sweat through it. They had to put in those years of sweating through it. And I think a lot of kids are told, maybe not now, but a lot of kids my generation were told, you're not going to have to worry about that because everything's going to be great. Everything, once you graduate, once you go to college, you're going to have that great degree. You're going to have that great job. You're going to move if you want to move to New York City, you can do that. I have so many friends who went, I'm going to move to New York or LA. Going to hit it big. Going to live out in California or New York. That flamed out. And I think for so many people, they put the American dream is being rich. Being rich and being famous, being rich and not having a care in the world is the American dream. And I think for a lot of younger people, that might be the American dream. And then you kind of have to have some reflection and go, what is the American dream for me? What is it? I love the texter who weighed in earlier who's like, I'm making $65 a year, but I got my own house. Oh, I don't think he said 10 acres of land. I can't tell you how many people I know today who would love to have that. Who would love to, that's their idea right there. That's the American dream. Having 10 acres of land, hell, having an acre of land, people would love to have that. Not being bothered by neighbors, not being bothered by other people. They would just kill to have that. Growing up, I never thought about that. Where we're living at now, I joked around with friends when we moved out to the county. I was never that guy who was going to be out in the county and have not have neighbors and anything else. I was always going to be big in the city, suburban, whatever. So I think you have to look at things and really take value of what matters in life. And if you have family and you're surrounded by family and friends and doesn't mean you're always surrounded by them, but you have access to family and friends and you're married, happily married, you've got a kid, and that's something that you want, and you have all those things and your head's above water. It's not bad. It's pretty good. It may not be everyone's version of a dream, but it might be your version of the dream. And I think that's what we kind of have to look at, and to say today that in the future, with every opportunity that we have at our fingertips, to say that life won't be as good in the next 15 years, I would hate to think that. It may be, there's going to be issues, but with technology and everything else, the next 15 years should be, you would think, unless AI goes crazy, you would think it would be amazing. And that kids today have more opportunity than they've ever had. It just has to be focused. What do you think? I know you had your microphone on there, Nick. What do you...
No, I was just going to say, I would say the quote, because I always put it in quotes, the American dream, to me, it's the freedom to succeed and or fail on your own.
Yes.
You're not being pushed or pressured or told what to do, how to spend your money. And I mean this as from a government point of perspective. You can do whatever you want to an extent, and then you can fail however you want. And it's fine. You pick up the pieces and you move forward. Growing up, I never had, I grew up in such a small little southeast Wisconsin town. Kids all grew up and then they either lived and raised a family in the city or they moved one city over.
Yeah.
And they started working at a tractor factory, putting together parts, and then that was it.
Yeah.
It was nobody would ever move. Certainly not out of the state.
Right.
There's nothing about big buildings, big skyscrapers. But, we were happy. We were, all of it, neighbors, we were all,
yeah.
We didn't have, buckets of money thrown around. But, we were happy. We had a family. We were, all of our family and friends were around us. And to me, that's a pretty good life. I think that's pretty good.
No, I think so. And, again, I think you look at it and you say that, unless you're just wanting to be a pessimistic person and say the American dream is dead or it's going to be tougher now, work hard. Don't tell your kids that everything's going to be handed to them, that everything's going to be easy. Tell them there's going to be missteps. It's, once you graduate, if you go to college and you graduate, you may not get a job offering you $200,000 a year right off the bat. It may not happen that way, because of the robots, but it may not happen that way. There may be things that get in the way. But that's, it's on you to be able to adapt and change what you think is your American dream. The American dream it's not the same for everybody. It's absolutely not the same for everybody, nor should it be. 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Yeah, let's go ahead and take the final break. When we come back, your phone calls, your text, and more.
The Titan of Texas Talk Radio. The Chad Hasty Show.
Talking with newsmakers and about the issues that matter to you. The Chad Hasty Show, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Chad's show is also digital with the Chad Hasty Show podcast. The Chad Hasty Show podcast can be downloaded on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and the Radio On Demand page on KFYO.com. The Chad Hasty Show, all across Texas during your drive home, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling. The limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Every hour of every day, Fox News Radio is there with the latest breaking news and information you rely on.
This is a Fox News Alert.
I'm Lisa Brady.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
With Fox News correspondents around the globe.
At the White House, Simon Owen in London.
On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The news that matters most to you. The top headlines. All in one place. America is listening to Fox News Radio.
Heard right here on News Talk KFYO.
Add the KFYO text line to your contacts and voice your opinion during our local shows. 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. News Talk 95.1 and 790. And on the KFYO app.
Securing America.
A recent House Appropriations Subcommittee hearing examined the potential budget for the U.S. Army in fiscal year 2027. California Republican Ken Calvert spoke about the importance of that funding.
As threats evolve, it's imperative that we prioritize investments that not only contribute to the current readiness, but also provide us with a decisive advantage on any future battlefield.
Army Secretary Dan Driscoll testified about warfare's changing landscape, which is being fueled by rapid technology changes. Driscoll said that in order to meet that challenge, his troops need help.
Our soldiers are ready to innovate and win, but bureaucracy and regulations are still holding them back.
He added that budget flexibility and speed, which can only be provided by Congress, is key.
So we can adapt quickly to threats and transform faster than our adversaries.
Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
Back on the Chad Hasty Show. I'm watching a video out of Manhattan out earlier today, where hundreds of people gathered around Washington Square Park to get stoned and high as Nick, they celebrate 420. Yesterday, 420, where a bunch of people just go get high. A lot of jokes are made about it. I had a few listeners asking if we were going to have any 420 joke. I don't know, is that a thing? 420 jokes? I don't know. But maybe one of the nicest protests I've seen in a while. I guess. I mean, they're just sitting there getting high, and you know it probably stunk. I mean, that is in any of these cities where they've legalized recreational marijuana. Oh, some of these areas, they stink. Ugh. But everybody does. I'll say this. a mostly peaceful protest, as everyone was just kind of sitting there. And you have the cops who are hanging out in the middle of it going, well, I think we're probably also getting high because of all the smoke that's going around. This won't look good on the next drug exam that we have to do. So hopefully the cops get a little bit of a pass on that one. But no, it's just a bunch of people hanging out. That's it. Bunch of people on a Monday evening, Monday afternoon, hanging out and getting high in Washington Square Park in New York City. 806-680-2790. Now, this could also be video of any other day in New York City. It could be the exact same video that we'll get tomorrow. They just say that it's because of 420. 806-680-2790. You can send in your thoughts on the text line. Let's see. Rick lays in perspective. In 1979, I made $100 per week. My rent was $225 per month. I had to work over 2 weeks to pay my rent. Another texter says, let's see, Chad, now is a great time to be alive. Yeah, sure, there's wars going on, but also you have AI and you have some of these other things that may be a little questionable. At the same time, like you said, we have knowledge to everything. We have access to everything we would need to become more knowledgeable, faster, everything, healthier. We have all the knowledge in the world. It just takes us. We have to do it. We have to enable ourselves and make ourselves the best we can be and make our kids the best they can be. No one's just going to hand it to us, and that is part of life. Very good. Yeah. Another texter, Stephen, weighed in. Chad, did you see Bill Maher over the weekend warn about AI? And the future it can hold for the U.S. Well, it's not just the U.S., it's everybody. But yeah, I did see that. I didn't see it live. I did see a clip that came out. Maher thought about apparently doing his shtick, warning people about AI without any jokes, which he said would have been the first time in 23 years that he'd done a monologue without any jokes. But he wanted to make sure that people understood how serious he was about the AI technology being bad for the U.S. and bad for the world. And I wish I could say he's being crazy, but I simply don't know. I don't know what the end. We've had people on to talk about the AI technology. We've had them on to talk about everything else, and you still can't get a grasp of, okay, what's winning? I get being ahead of China. I get being ahead of Russia when it comes to AI technology, but what's the end game? There was a story I read last week that showed blue-collar jobs, or white-collar jobs, entry-level white-collar jobs will go away in the next 1 to 5 years because of AI. And while that may be good for some of us, it may not be good for everybody. I don't know. We may jump back into that tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Stay safe. Stay healthy. May God bless each and every one of you. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 5 p.m.
The Chad Hasty Show, a presentation of Texas Town Square Media Network. The views and opinions expressed during the Chad Hasty Show are not necessarily the views of this station, staff, management, advertisers, or Town Square Media.